He's a happy guy, boy. He was just really kicking his heels up between first and second when he saw that ball go out. And Royce is up again to Leonard with another fastball. He's hit them both out. And Jeff Leonard, who started with the Dodgers, only had 10 at-bats with him, has come back to haunt him a little bit tonight. Look at that giant bench now. They're all up, and the spirits really changed up there in San Francisco. Bob Lurie, the new owner, has done a tremendous job. Have another look at it. Fastball, that is almost identical to the location of the first home run, except Leonard pulls it slightly more. He had 2 home runs coming into this game. Now he's got 4.
Boy, and Royce got behind him, maybe showing a little respect before the other one, and finally he had to come in there on a 3-1 pitch, and did he rip it? Pitch is fouled off just to my left. Could have had a souvenir if it had been a little more to my right. No ball, 1 strike count, nobody down in the 4th. The Giants lead the Dodgers 3-1. They've out-hit the Dodgers 6-1. Youngblood takes low. I know that's a strike, too. No balls, 2 strikes. Boy, I'll tell you what, that ball is really carrying here tonight. You've got to thunder one ordinarily to get it out of here over that center field wall. First base umpire Lee Wire says nope, he didn't swing. Yeager appealed. Lee says no. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Got him on the curve.
Well, what a good example you just saw right there of a player pulling his head on a pitch. When Youngblood swung at that pitch, his head was looking probably in the Dodger dugout. Have a look at this. Just watch his head and where it is. Now, he was on that pretty well. Actually, his head came out later.
Pitch it outside for a ball. Tom O'Malley, the Giant third sacker. Royce had been not home run proof, but almost that way in 65 innings before tonight. He had allowed a total of only 3 home runs. And Leonard's taken him downtown twice tonight. 2 balls and no strikes to O'Malley. And next week we'll have Montreal in the Giants with Candlestick Park.
Well, look at Royce. This is not a normal Jerry Royce. He's just up high all the time, and he cannot pitch that way. When he came over from Pittsburgh to the Dodgers, that was the one thing the Dodgers corrected, was they got him to pitch the ball down. Right around there is where he should be.
A good pitch for a 3-0 count. There's Tommy Lasorda. Strike 2. Another good pitch. Full count, 3-2. Another good pitch, and it's fouled off. The ballpark is almost filled now, except for the bleachers. They have a lot of seats sold here tonight that people didn't show up to occupy. Tough hop for Steve Sachs, but he got right in front of it and got him with 2 down. That ball was just getting into position to take that bad hop, and Steve accelerated a little, came in so he could get the hop around the knees. A good example of why not to wait on a baseball. It can eat you up. Here, Bob Brenly got a base hit his first time up. Giants 3, Dodgers 1. It's up high, ball 1. Well, as you mentioned, a real gentleman a little while ago when you mentioned Bob Lurie, owner of the Giants. He's the guy who came riding in the last minute to save the Giants from being moved to Canada.
He is a wonderful man and totally dedicated to making the Giants a winner and a top attraction in the Bay Area. He even wants to build a new ballpark.
I hope that happens. I really hope that happens while Bob has the club, so he can at least have a shot at drawing people in that great Bay Area up there without having to take an overcoat with you in August and July. It isn't that bad, but it's bad enough. Good fastball.
No, Brenly is not a bad hitter at all. He's a lifetime .293 hitter, although he's only been in the major leagues for 3 years and just 225 at-bats coming into this season. He signed with the Giants originally just as a free agent and is a pretty doggone good hitter, college All-American.
Ball's hit pretty well to left field. Mundy's going back. He's going to have to jump. He's just exactly high enough. I don't know if he misjudged that ball early or not. It was hit awfully hard, but Rick made a fine play on the ball. Man, that was ripped. 1 run, 1 hit. Nobody left on in the middle of the 4th inning. The score is 3-1 Giants.
USA Network and Monty Moore and myself want to pass along our congratulations to Dave Stieb of Toronto, who's pitched that club right into first place. What a job he's been doing. And also Ron Cey of Chicago, who got off to such a slow start, and the fans were all over him back there in the Windy City, and now he is starting to really rip that baseball. 5 home runs for the Penguin now, and congratulations to both of them. We're real happy to see that.
Wes, the USA Network will get to see that hot Toronto ball club in a couple of weeks. You and I will be up in Oakland to do that game with Toronto and Oakland. That ought to be a good one. Both clubs surprising this year, I think. Steve Boros has done a tremendous job with the A's, and Bobby Cox with that Toronto club. We'll see him in a couple of weeks. Renicky for the Dodgers is up. They've had only 1 base hit. It was a long tater by Rick Monday. Lasky was a breaking ball for strike 2 to Renicky. 3-1 San Francisco. They are 8.5 games behind the Dodgers, who have the best record in all of baseball. 29 wins, 11 losses. They're 18 games over 500 already. 1-2. Last year, you might recall, in August, Giants were 13.5 games back, and they actually got to within 1 game of the Dodgers. That was an incredible comeback. Matter of fact, West, didn't it go down to the last weekend of the season?
It did. The Dodgers and Giants were playing in San Francisco, and Atlanta was playing in San Diego. Atlanta had a 1-game lead over both of them. So either the Giants or Dodgers almost had the sweep, and they knocked each other out of it.
Yeah. 2-2 count. Lasky to Renicky. Shakes his catcher off on 1. The catcher moves to the outside and takes it way outside. Ball 3.
You know who Lasky reminds me of just a little bit? A guy that you saw pitch many, many ball games, and that's Raleigh Fingers. He's tall like Raleigh, and he has kind of the slow movements of Raleigh. Doesn't rush himself and has pretty good control moving the ball around.
Yeah, there are some similarities there.
Just a few.
Not as good a mustache as Raleigh. There's Tony DeMarco. He is the agent of Fernando Valenzuela. And he's using the radar gun to see how fast this guy's throwing the ball. Base hit right up the middle. Renicky gets a hit to start the Dodgers in the 4th inning. Do you think he puts a gun on Fernando? I don't think you would want to tell how fast he doesn't throw it.
Renicky really got on top of that pitch. As you see, it was a high fastball, and he wanted to make sure he didn't pop it up. He got right on top of it and drove it into center field.
Here's Ken Landreau. Had some good seasons with the Minnesota Twins before becoming a free agent and signing with the Dodgers, and they haven't signed many of those. The ball. 1-0.
Landreau's normally a real fast starter, Monty. Usually great in April and May, but he got so hot in spring training the last couple of weeks that I think he left some of it in Florida. And he hit very well for about the first week, and then he's gone into kind of a slump, but he's starting to pick it up again.
Catcher and second baseman are both going in to talk to Lasky. That might indicate that he threw a wrong pitch right there. I don't know. Maybe the sign is wrong. I don't know if Youngblood would be in there. His man would be telling him what to do. There's Herm Sprett, the pitching coach of the Giants, right next to Frank Robinson. Herm's a good coach. I don't think anybody has to tell the Giant pitchers that they don't toss the ball in the air the next time Frank Robinson comes to get them. After what happened in New York this week, that ball may be in play. Nope. Got 2 rows deep. Evans ran a long ways with that ball. Darrell is from right near here, Pasadena.
He's a terrific guy, isn't he?
They are, man.
And his mom was a softball pitcher, a championship underhand fast pitch softball pitcher. His dad was a heck of an athlete, and he really grew up as a Dodger fan and now winds up in San Francisco. Kind of ironic.
Daryl's a good golfer, too. He always comes down and plays in our K-Tip Golf-A-Rama in Porterville every year. With Wes and I have a little golf tournament there for big league ball players, and he's there every year. And is a good player. Funny how you see good ball players stick around the big leagues and play different positions. He's played third base, he's played the outfield, and now he's at first base. Probably to stay. Giants are leading it. We're in the fourth inning at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Sorry, first game of our USA doubleheader got rained out tonight. And this pitch is fouled away. Tom Lasorda was talking with us about that Philadelphia series they just came from. He said, it's hard to tell if your pitching's all that good when the way those guys are swinging the bat right now. And you wonder, the Philadelphia papers, are writing about how lousy their hitters are hitting, and the L.A. papers are writing about how great their pitchers are pitching, which is right.
Probably a little of both.
That might be two. Well, the master had to take a second hitch. I don't know if he lost the ball or what. In his glove, but he took the second hitch, and that's too late to get a guy like Landreau.
I don't know why he did it either, Monty. Maybe he was surprised that the ball was thrown to him because the second baseman, Youngblood, was so close he probably thought he was going to take it all himself. And right here, he loses control of the ball. I think he just couldn't get it out of the glove. That happens every once in a while.
When the ball is not thrown to you hard, and that was kind of tossed up in the air, it looked to me as if Youngblood had the play right in front of him to tag the runner and go to first himself. Here's Pedro Guerrero. Fly ball center field, his first time up. Pedro at a .304 batting clip, 11 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Doing a respectable job at third base. I don't think he's going to win any Gold Glove over there, but he's doing a good job.
He's really better than average. If you see him move to his left, he's outstanding. Maybe not quite as good going towards the line.
Hasn't taken the Dodger fans all that long to get used to looking at this lineup without Say and Garvey, and there's a man who's probably been instrumental in making the move to put the younger guys in both those places. That's a strike. Guerrero just puts both hands up in the air as if to say, hey, wait a minute, where was that one? He's behind in the count, 0-2.
That's Ed Montague, the home plate umpire. And Pedro had a few words to say. I think when the umpire takes his mask off, it's about time to finish up what you were saying and get back in the batter's box.
Landreau has swiped 8 bases in the last 8 ball games. Slider's outside. It's 1-2. Just wanted to tempt him a little bit. The Giants play very deep on Guerrero and straight away in all positions. Infielders are cheated in just a bit for double play possibility. Those throws to first base indicate Lasky has also seen the press notes that we just showed you on TV a minute ago. The Landreau's stolen 8 bases.
Good advanced scouting report.
Yep.
Who's the advanced scout for the Giants? We'll have to check into that.
I don't know, but they're around for everybody. Jim Davenport?
Could be, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I think Jimmy is doing some of that. Exactly right.
There goes Landreau. Pedro fouls it off.
I think he would have made it, Monty.
He really had a jump. Well, with 2 strikes, Pedro had to be swinging. Now Lasky's going to call Evans over for a talk right here. He's ahead at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Darrell's saying, listen, if you don't want this guy to steal, you're going to have to give him a better move to first base, a better pickoff move. You got to watch this guy.
A lot of good base stealers like to run on 1 and 2, but there are a lot of catchers who like to pitch out on 1 and 2 because you can afford the ball. He struck him out. Left that ball right up in the strike zone. Campy Campaneris, who's made a miraculous comeback this year with the New York Yankees, incidentally, he used to tell me the reason he used to like to steal an 0-2 and 1-2 is he thought the pitcher would throw the ball in the dirt a lot, trying to waste one.
Interesting thing about this whole series of pitches to Guerrero is they pitched him up, which normally you don't want to do, but Guerrero is such a good low ball hitter that they took a chance and struck him out that way.
Got him up and in. So they're 2 down. Here's Greg Brock. In there for a strike. Boy, this guy's going to be around for a long, long time. Very glib. Very cool, and doesn't get too excited when he has his big games.
I think that's the thing that amazed everybody about Brock is how comfortable he appears to be as a big league ball player. He really doesn't appear to even know who he's replacing or what is expected of him.
Takes a pretty cool head because you go in and you take the place of a guy like a Steve Garvey, who's been a fan favorite here forever. Got to be some pressure on you. Landro's running, and that throw's right there. What a throw by Brimley. Johnny LeMaster just caught it and said, come on, Landro, it's right here, tag yourself out. So it's no runs, 1 hit. Nobody left on thanks to that throw, and after 4 innings of play, the Giants lead the Dodgers 3-1. Well, we hope you'll be with us next week for that big doubleheader. Johnny McNamara's California Angels, 2 games in front now in the American League West, and the Yankees, who had not too good a trip back here in the West, will meet them again in the East. And of course, Montreal and San Francisco. I'm looking forward to seeing the Montreal Expos next Thursday night with Wes Parker up at Candlestick. And speaking of Wes Parker, right here he is, play-by-play.
All right, Bonnie Moore, thank you very much. And here is Bill Lasky hitting 9th in the Giants order. He struck out his first time up. Jerry Royce having his troubles, at least with Jeff Leonard. He's given up 2 home runs to Jeff and 2 at-bats, and that's how the Giants have 3 runs. Giants leading at 3-1 in the 5th.
Wes in the on-deck area right now, and I hate to move our directors around. I know we present problems, but there's a unique thing I've never seen in a big league on-deck circle being used by Johnny LeMaster.
I have never seen anything like that either. We'll try and get a camera on it, but he's using some kind of stretching device.
Look at that.
You see, it's not a bat. I doubt whether any of our fans have ever seen anything like that. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Look at this thing. What the heck is it?
You got me.
Looks like bicycle handlebars that have been pulled off the bike or something. But it's some kind of stretching device that Johnny LeMaster apparently likes. Curveball chopped right back to Royce. And Brock makes a good play. And the thing that made that play possible was that Lasky was so far from the bag that Brock could get back.
Boy, Royce had all the time in the world and just reared back and made a bad pitch. Look at that. It helps to be 6'5". To reach out and get one like that. Now, we appreciate our director's work picking up something like that on short notice. We ordinarily would tell somebody up here to have our director get it, but I was afraid they may throw that thing away. I've never seen one before.
Well, it's still there in the on-deck circle. We'll see if anybody else uses it. Johnny LeMaster, as you see, 1 for 2, singled and stole a base and grounded out to short. And LeMaster, as we mentioned earlier, Monty has gained about 15 pounds this year. He's going to try and beat one down to Brock.
Hey!
And Brock got him, I guess.
He didn't tag him, I'll tell you that. I don't think he might have called him out for being out of the baseline. I don't believe he tagged him, but who knows? They're on him out of the Giant dugout, I know that. Now watch this. Did he tag him? Well, if that man didn't see it, I don't know who could have, because he was right there. With Royce always going off the mound toward the third base line, it was a good move by Johnny Lee. Yeah, he might have.
He might have. the bunt could have been a little bit more towards second, and he's got a base hit.
Absolutely. He's just taken Brock off a little more.
Well, 2 down now in the top of the 5th inning for the Giants. Darrell Evans, the hitter. Darrell, you remember, if you go back to 1973, was one of a trio of Atlanta Braves to all hit over 40 home runs that year, and that's the only time in the history of the major leagues it's ever happened.
One of them was a second baseman named Davy Johnson.
You are absolutely right, and he never even came close to hitting that many again.
Disappeared fast.
And the one you'll always remember, of course, is Hank Aaron. All three hit over 40 home runs. Dusty Baker was on that ball club, and he hit about 20. Then he came over to the Dodgers and was a part of 4 guys who hit over 30, and I don't think that had ever been done before. Evans fouls this one off.
Last statistical thing that was up there indicates that Evans has been on base almost 1 out of every 2 times he's been up, at least 4 out of every 10.
He is also leading the National League in slugging percentage at .617. The 3-1 pitch down low for ball 4. So Darrell Evans, hitting second now for the Giants, is on base with 2 down, and Chili Davis is the hitter.
Chili Davis.
It's the first walk Royce has given up in the last 21 2/3 innings he's pitched. Tommy Lasorda.
Boy, Tommy doesn't look too comfortable in that dugout, even though his ball club is playing sensational baseball. But I really don't think Tommy has ever done a better job of managing than this year. Monty, I've seen and heard almost all the Dodger games, and he has just pushed the right buttons time after time. Chopper down to third. Guerrero's good on this one. Makes that running throw on that ball hit to his left and gets him. So that's it. The Giants leave 1 in the top of the 5th, and at the end of 4.5 now, it is still Giants 3, Dodgers 1. Let's pause for this message from your local systems.
Well, there are other ball games being played tonight, of course, around the major leagues. Montreal, Philadelphia is one that didn't get played. Pittsburgh defeated Cincinnati 6-4. Everybody around here tonight talking about that 7 walks in a row in a Pittsburgh game the other night. Cubs beat Atlanta 5-1, and the Cardinals back in the winning track, beating Houston 5-3.
Craig Brock, the hitter for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 5th. They trail by 2, and Brock takes a strike. Lasky's been excellent at getting ahead of the hitters, particularly Brock. Brock was the hitter, you remember, when Kenny Landreau was thrown out at second on the outstanding throw by Renly. And he has a great cut, but pops it straight up. Boy, he had a good cut. Evans is going to catch it. Not a breath of wind. That ball went straight up and came straight down. You saw Evans. He didn't even have to move once he got settled. So Greg Brock is now about 1 for 23. He's been in a bad slump, and his average is in the 230s.
And here comes a real test for him, Wes, to see how a rookie handles a slump. Big league stars even have trouble handling them. We saw Reggie Jackson last week. He's in an awful slump.
Horrible slump. Well, Brock is a notoriously slow starter. Rick Monday homered in the 1st inning, as you see, or in the 2nd inning, on a low inside fastball that wasn't inside enough. Getting one of his rare starts. The Dodgers didn't get into L.A. from Philadelphia last night, or I should say this morning, until 3 o'clock. So Billy Russell and Dusty Baker are getting rests, 2 of the veteran players on the club, and Mike Marshall, who would normally start in right field, is in a horrendous slump, and Tommy Lasorda is going to rest him for a couple of days and let Ron Renicky play.
Giants, on the other hand, coming from the East Coast, got in here after a day game yesterday at 9 o'clock last night, Los Angeles time.
Well, they played the Mets at 1 o'clock, and the Dodgers played the Phillies at 6 in the late afternoon, and that was the difference. Tommy Lasorda wasn't too happy about that before the game. 1-1 pitch to Rick Monday outside.
All the traveling I did, West, the most wiped out you ever are is coming from east to west, because playing the East for a week or so and you're on that clock, but you get here and you really get here at 9 o'clock Los Angeles time. It's midnight, your body time, and it takes a couple of days to get that back in order.
A little bit low. Well, that's what drove you out of announcing, didn't it, Marty?
Well, that's one of the things.
Monty Moore, the announcer for the Oakland A's for 20 years?
16 years.
16 years. Now with the USA Network in his 5th year. 3-1 pitch.
Uh-oh, that
ball is gone. You can forget it. Rick Mundy's already in his home run track. Well, it's a home run contest tonight between Jeff Leonard and Rick Mundy.
Well, in the scouting meeting tonight with the pitchers and the catchers and the manager, they must not have said anything about Rick Mundy. Where's this pitch? Right down the middle. Oh, mercy. That's definitely a hittable pitch. That baby was hit, too.
That ball had a light on it flashing, hit me all the way to the plate, and that's just what Rick Mundy did. The only difference in this game is that Jeff Leonard hit one of his home runs with a man on base. So it's 3-2 instead of 2-2. Giants leading.
Isn't it amazing? A guy like Mundy can sit on that bench forever and come out and have a night like this. It really takes a guy with a certain temperament to do that.
And a great stroke. And I mean a great stroke. One of the best swings you'll ever see. Rick Mundy's. Yeager quickly in the hole, 0-2. Lasky not showing any signs of being shaken up by Mundy's home run. Yeager's first at bat hit a deep fly ball to right field, which Jack Clark really climbed the right field wall to pull in. It might have been out. Ball and 2 strikes to Yeager, who's having a good year. Interesting note that Lasky is leading the Giants staff in home runs allowed. Dennis Mnuchin passing that note on to us. He's allowed 11, including the ones tonight. Yeager strikes out. That's the second out of the inning. And Dave Anderson will be the hitter. Anderson, his first time up, ran the count to 3-2 and started running to first base on the 6th pitch and was called out. Pretty good ball game tonight. As Fernando Valenzuela looks on, his turn will be coming up later in this series.
He was having a lot of fun out here early tonight playing shortstop during batting practice.
You can do that when you're good. When you only have to work every 4th or 5th day. Valenzuela pitches Saturday.
It'll be a long rest for him, Wes. He pitched Monday night.
Yep. He'll be going against Andy McGaff again. The Giants, I'm sure you realize, have just completely restructured their pitching staff. In 1981, they had Vida Blue, Ed Whitson, Doyle Alexander, Tom Griffin, and Alan Ripley, and they're all gone, and now they have Bill Lasky, Mike Krukow, Adley Hammaker, Fred Brining. Just completely turned it around, and lo and behold, it worked. Boy, I would sure hate to try and do that myself. Alter your entire starting pitching, and there's Frank Robinson, who had a lot to do with that. But it's really paid off. There's a little looper into right field. That looks like it might drop, and it does, in front of Chili Davis. So Dave Anderson has himself a base hit with 2 outs. Jerry Royce, the pitcher, coming up, hitting 9th. So at least if Anderson doesn't score in this inning, they will have gotten Royce out of the way for the 6th inning. That's the 4th Dodger hit. The Giants have 6. First meeting between these two bitter rivals, I guess you might say. They certainly have been over the years, especially, well, not especially since they moved to LA, because it started back in New York. That ball will be caught by Jeff Leonard as he drifts back, and Royce is the 3rd out of the inning. But in the 5th, the Dodgers get a run on a couple of hits and now trail 3-2. And we'll be right back with the 6th inning, and coming up for the Giants, it'll be Jack Clark, Jeff Leonard, and Joe Youngblood.
Ordinarily, when you see a game with 4 home runs, you expect a bigger score than that, but we are through 5 innings. It's 3-2 Giants. I'm with Wes Parker. Wes, this is the 2000th Dodger game in Los Angeles. Did you see the first one at the old Coliseum?
Yes, I did, Monty. In fact, I was a senior in high school, and I shouldn't say this, but I cut school that day to go see the game.
Nothing wrong with that, kids. Go ahead and cut school and see a baseball game anytime you want. What about the first game at Chavez Ravine? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that one, too. And the Dodgers were always popular here. You remember they had Coast League baseball before the Dodgers came. But right away, boy, the minute the Dodgers waltzed in here, they were huge favorites. And the first year was a disaster in L.A. They came in next to last.
The boos you're hearing in the background are for the fact that tonight the 76ers beat the Lakers in the NBA playoffs, so I just thought I'd pass that along to you. Weston, you played in the 1,000th game ever played in Los Angeles. What do you remember about it?
Not too much, except Billy Grabarkowitz had a huge day and got off to a great start that year, and we trailed the Cincinnati Reds by 10 games all season.
All right, that sets the stage here for the 6th inning at Dodger Stadium between the Giants and the Dodgers. It's 3-2, Giants leading. Royce against Lasky, and once again, here is Wes Parker.
Thank you, Monty. We'll see what Jerry Royce can do with Jack Clark. Clark is singled and grounded out to third. And Jack Clark is a notoriously slow starter. He's started very slowly this year, hitting just .233. But he has a way of turning things on when the warm weather comes.
Uh-oh.
He hit that one hard.
Must be
way back. That ball is going to be out of here. That is home run number 5 in this ball game. The third by the Giants, and they lead it 4-2.
Well, we said in the first inning that the baseball was jumping here in Los Angeles. Ordinarily, the air is so heavy down here that the ball just really has to be thundered to get out of this ballpark. And man, it's jumping tonight. Watch this one. A curveball, and Clark was on it all the way, timed it perfectly, and gave it about a $4 cab ride out over the left field fence. Or can you get anything for $4 in L.A.?
Well, here's Jeff Leonard. He's got a couple of home runs himself, going for number 3, the hat trick. There's Tom Niedenfuer in the Dodger bullpen, which has been nothing short of absolutely spectacular this year. In fact, the bullpen has really carried the Dodgers because their hitting has not been that good. Their team batting average is under .250, and they've been making a lot of errors in that revamped infield. But that bullpen for L.A. has been something else.
We may get a look at it tonight. If Royce were one of those pitchers that was wild and had been walking a bunch of guys, he'd really be behind here tonight. It takes a lot of runs to beat you when you don't walk anybody.
Fastball up high is bounced down to Guerrero. Going to be close. He bounced it in the dirt, and you're going to see him go down to second base on that one as the ball eludes Brock. Guerrero looked to me like his timing just was a little bit off.
Second baseman, Joel Youngblood.
An error all the way. I think Pedro waited on that ball and looked up and was surprised to see how close Leonard was to first base. He would have had him could Brock have come up with that, but that long hop is harder to come up with than the short one over there.
I think you're right, Monty. Leonard really was flying down that line a lot faster than I believe he realized, and he had to try and muscle up at the last second and bounce it in the dirt. Here's Youngblood. Well, I don't know why they're picking on the right side of the Dodger infield, but that's the second Giant hitter who's tried to bunt down to Brock or Sachs.
I think the idea right here is just to move the runner over from second base, just playing pure old percentage baseball to move him over.
Joey Youngblood, coming over from the Mets as a free agent, had won a really fine year in '81 when he was hitting .350 and leading the National League in hitting, but then got hurt and only played in 43 games, but still wound up the season at .350. Now he's going to go down and talk to his third base coach, and you might recognize that man. That's Danny Ozark, who for so long coached third for the Dodgers, now with the Giants. And he'll go right into a trivia quiz where they ask how many players have played for both the Dodgers and the Giants or worn the same uniform. You recognize that guy over there? That's Donnie Buford. Remember him with Baltimore?
Boy, I remember him with Baltimore and with the Chicago White Sox. He won the American League Stolen Base Derby one year with the White Sox.
Good switch hitter. Had some fine years.
Where he had a tie for it. The Campy Campaneris stole 3 bases on the last day of the season to tie him for the American League Stolen Base Championship. Buford was quite a player.
You know, he was a running back, a tailback at USC.
Yeah, I remember that. And a teammate of Frank Robinson's at Baltimore. I'm sure that's where they got into the Mutual Admiration Society.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Joey Youngblood. He fouls that one off, out of play. Giants lead at 4-2. We're in the top of the 6th. This inning started with a Jack Clark home run, and then Jeff Leonard was safe on a 2-base throwing error made by Pedro Guerrero. So now Royce is facing Youngblood with nobody out and a Giant at second as they try to increase their lead. First of the 18 games that the Dodgers and Giants will be playing against each other this year. Off Off and running is Leonard for third. Yeager got him.
Bad play. Leonard will be hearing about that from his manager in the dugout. With nobody down, if you're going to try to steal third, you better make it. Good night. Yeager had all day to throw him out. Look at that throw. It's right there. An easy swiping tag and get out of there. Leonard was dead from the start. Cameras pick him up early. He saw right then he was dead.
You know, that's not a good play with nobody out. With one out, it would be. Because with nobody out, you can rely on that hitter to move you over to third, where you can score on a sacrifice fly. With one out, then go ahead and maybe take a shot at it. 3-2 pitch, Royce gets him. Boy, what a change this inning has taken all of a sudden.
Youngblood had been working up there for 5 minutes trying to move him over, and all of a sudden Leonard takes off.
Tom O'Malley.
Well, quickly now we have 2 outs in the 6th inning. Tom O'Malley, the hitter. O'Malley right now just hitting .232, but he's had good cuts tonight. He looks like he's got very active hands. Good quick hands at the plate. And really hangs in there again against a left-hand pitcher. The Giants are full of guys that hang in well against a left-hander. Ground ball down to Sachs. They'll go over to Brock. Almost pulls him off the bag. Sachs has been having trouble with that short throw all year. That's really been something. But they get him, so the Giants score 1 run on 1 hit here in the 6th. And at the end of 5.5, it is 4-2 Giants. Let's pause now for this message from your local systems.
Night Flight explodes in June. Watch for brand new concerts, comedy, and interviews on the all-new Night Flight, coming in June only on USA.
Ford is miles ahead.
I shopped around, did some research, and ended up buying the Mustang GT here because it had the power. I didn't have to do any modifications to the car to make it handle like I had to do to my Datsun. It just hugs the road. Probably the next couple of cars that are coming to my clan would be the Fords now because of the improvements on them and the price range.
When it comes to performance, you're miles ahead at your Northwest Ford dealers.
This year, you can have more fun than ever in a Sea Eagle, the best inflatable boat in the world. Sea Eagle is available at Carrots, the Yakima River floating headquarters. This week, you can check out the Sea Eagle at the Valley Mall during the Summertime Fun and Leisure Show this Wednesday through Sunday. And with each major Sea Eagle purchase, you'll receive an MTV t-shirt free. Float through the summer in style with a Sea Eagle. Available only at Carrots, located at 1107 Fruitvale in Yakima.
We were talking a little while ago about the Toronto pitcher Dave Stieb, who'd had quite a year. He had gone 80 2/3 innings without throwing a home run before tonight. Dwight Evans of the Red Sox hit a home run off Stieb tonight, and the Red Sox won over Toronto 7-2. Texas is leading the White Sox 3-1 in the 6th inning, and Kansas City is over Baltimore 8-2 in the 9th.
For the Dodgers, leading off.
Well, Monty, getting back to our ball game here in L.A. In fact, if you haven't been to Los Angeles and seen Dodger Stadium, it's right near downtown L.A., right close to all the freeways, which I guess is another reason why they have so many good crowds. It's very easy to get here. Park holds about 56,000 and nearly full tonight. Steve Sachs will be leading it off. Renicky hitting second and Landreau coming up third. Sachs is 0 for 2. Hit a hard ground ball to short, which Lemaster handled and popped up to second. Lasky comes in high and tight.
We flew into the Burbank Airport today, Wes. First time I'd landed at that airport, and it's only about 20 minutes from there to Dodger Stadium.
Thanks to the freeways.
Yeah.
Ground ball down to Lemaster again. And he gets rid of it quickly and nails Sachs at first.
That might have looked like a routine play, but I'll tell you what, Lemaster was playing Sachs to hit the ball up the middle and had to go about 15 steps to his right and come up throwing against his body. Now here's the bite. Look, he plants his foot. He knows Sachs is one of the fastest runners. He gets a little short hop there and throws and gets him by plenty. Good play by Lemaster. He was playing him right up the middle.
Sure has a quick release, doesn't he?
Doesn't he? And right over the top with a strong delivery.
Ron Renicky getting a rare start. And he swings and misses. Renicky has a base hit in the 4th inning and flied out to left back in the 1st. So he's 1 for 2 tonight.
We're talking about Lemaster, West. Pardon me, the Giant fans are really starting a write-in campaign to try to get Johnny Lee on the All-Star squad. He's never made that All-Star squad. He's playing well enough to do it.
He certainly is in the field, and he's hitting a few home runs this year, too.
Hitting about 290. That's a pretty good stance. Best in the league among shortstops.
1-1 pitch coming up to Ron Renicky. Inside for a ball. Boy, the 3 home runs the Giants have hit tonight equal the season high in any game versus the Dodgers this year. San Diego had 3 against LA back on April 16th. Of course, Dodger pitchers don't give up a whole bunch of home runs, so you would expect 3 to be about the high. Renicky takes a strike.
Good pitch. He moves that ball around, doesn't he?
Sure does. I really like his control. And it looks like everything he throws up there moves, Monty, someplace. 2-2 count. Hit hard. LeMaster knocks it down. Quick release. Got him. What a play, and did he get rid of that ball fast.
Man, this ball was hit hard. Look at LeMaster. He ran right up and hit him up on the wrist. Picked it up on one hop and without even looking came right over the top and gunned one to first base.
I tell you, Monty, he had to have worked out with weights to put that little effort into the throw and have it go that hard that fast. Boy, he's a much stronger player than he was in previous years.
I was kidding him before the ball game. I brought him down to introduce him to the Shannon kids who are great Giant fans, and put my hand up on his biceps, and I said I used to be able to reach around those.
Landreau grounds one down to second. That should be an easy play for O'Malley, and he throws him out. So Bill Lasky has an easy inning as the Dodgers go 1-2-3 in the 6th. And at the end of 6 complete now, it is Giants 4 and Dodgers 2. Coming up in the 7th for San Francisco, Bob Brenly, Bill Lasky, and Johnny LeMaster.
All right, maybe I wasn't the greatest player of all time, but fans, they forgive and forget. When I go in here, they'll be buying me my favorite beer, light beer from Miller.
You, Bob Uecker?
Yeah, how you doing? These fans, I love them. They know us ex-big leaguers drink light because it's less filling and it tastes great. Well, can't keep the gang waiting. The fans are always joking.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Wow, they're having a good time in there.
You know, for my money, every pair of slacks ought to be this comfortable. These are Levi's Action slacks. I own 4 pair now, and I'm convinced they may be the most comfortable slacks a man can wear. First, they have a hidden stretch waistband. It's a great invention. Second, the fabric gives for even more comfort. And now Levi's Action slacks are stay pressed. A washable permanent press that really stays pressed. You try them.
One of the most prestigious events in all of tennis is the French Open. And the USA Network is going to bring you 3 days of middle round coverage from this great tournament. It's played on red clay at Roland Garros Stadium in Paris. And it's the first leg of the Grand Slam of tennis, considered one of the most difficult events to win. As a matter of fact, no American man has won it. I don't know how many years, maybe not ever. But defending champion Mats Wilander of Sweden, the newcomer who's done the 82 tournament, is heading a field that includes Jimmy Connors, John McEnroe, and Yvonne Lindell. Watch USA's French Open coverage starting Sunday, May 29th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and Monday, May 30th, and Tuesday, May 31st. Count me in. I'll be watching.
All right, Monty, you did that so well. I'm going to let you take over the play-by-play right now. Here's Monty Moore.
All right, it's the top of the 7th, and Bob Brenly, who has had 1 base hit and 1 line drive over the head of Rick Monday, that Monday speared for an out, and he hits this ball high and deep in the center, but not deep enough. Landreau's got a good beat on this one. 1 out. In the 7th of a well-played, crisp baseball game. Only been 1 base on balls in the whole game. Jerry Royce walked 1 man. He struck out 4. Lasky hasn't walked anybody. He struck out 3. Royce has thrown 3 home runs tonight, 2 to Leonard, 1 to Clark. And Lasky's thrown 2 home runs, both to Rick Monday. And the Giants are leading 4-2, out hitting the Dodgers 7-4. Royce thread one right in there for a call strike. Boy, this has been a good game, but no surprise to us. Both these teams were fired up and ready for it. Crowd was fired up. Wes Parker was flying tonight. Everybody around the ballpark had a special feeling. It's kind of a festive atmosphere when the Giants and the Dodgers play at this stadium. And there's the Brain Trust. Frank Robinson. Only man ever to win most valuable player in both American and National Leagues. And I saw him play a lot the year he won in the American League. He was one guy that they just always would tell the pitchers, don't knock him down. He'd get up and hit the next ball out of the park. That's hit right off the fist. Guerrero waits again. Just got him. Boy, he's circling that ball a lot out there at third base.
Well, maybe he knew he had a pitcher running, but that pitcher ran pretty well. Guerrero backed up. Watch this. Great action shot here. Good isolation, guys. He backs up on that ball. He really probably should have charged it because this is awful close. Look at that. About a foot he beat him by.
Johnny LeMaster.
Now, don't forget the Dodgers have a totally revamped infield. Instead of Garvey, Lopes, Russell, and Say, it's Guerrero, Anderson, Sachs, and Brock.
Sachs was the first one to break into that group as they traded away Davy Lopes. Here's Johnny LeMaster. He got a base hit in the third inning and almost had one on a bunt to the right side in the fifth. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Played some super shortstop out there. A good cut. Funny, he worked all winter to build himself up. Got to playing a little bit in spring training, said, hey, I'm too heavy. He said, I just did not feel comfortable, so he dropped 10 pounds. Back down to 175 right now. Sachs, good play. Now the gun. He throws it away into the dugout. Davy's really been rushing his throws this year. Wes mentioned it earlier. He's having trouble with the short throw. That one wasn't going to be too short, considered where he was throwing from, but still he made a very bad throw.
It's really astonishing, and the Dodger coaches can't figure it out because he's in good position to throw. But all year long he's had trouble with this really not difficult throw to first base. You can see he wasn't even close to Greg Brock.
It looks as if almost he tries to throw too hard all the time rather than easing up and just getting it over there once in a while. And that's why I said now the gun, because he does throw hard all the time. It's an error all the way. I was waiting to see if they gave him a hit and an error, but it's an error all the way.
You know, Monty, also he went through a period where he was just lobbing the ball to first and lobbing it wildly, so the coaches told him to throw it hard, and the same result.
Here's Darrell Evans. We may have a play at the plate. LeMaster's coming. So's the throw from Renicky, and it's offline. Missed the cutoff man even, and going to second base is Darrell Evans, and the Giants lead it 5-2. So the error has cost 1 run so far. Boy, Renicky's throw was up the line. I thought he'd have a better play at the plate than that one.
Darrell Evans hanging in against the left-hand pitching of Jerry Royce. It was a good pitch. And a good throw right here, I think, would have had the runner at the plate. Now, Renicky, he really does this well. Gets rid of the ball quickly as LeMaster's coming in, but throws the ball about 15 feet up the third base line, make it 10 feet, and LeMaster comes right around Yeager. Yeager was going to try and gun out Evans at second, but bobbled the ball.
The cutoff man was the first baseman, and he let the ball go because he, too, thought they had a throw at the plate, and he was probably listening to Yeager, who was telling him either cut it or not cut it. So the throw didn't miss the cutoff man all that much, even though it was up the line, and Brock had to go to his left to have caught it if he caught it. If he'd have cut it off, he had Evans at second base.
Monty, a key stat for the Dodgers, having seen Sachs made that error. They have made 41 going into tonight's game. Now, this is the 42nd in their 41st game. So the Dodgers are averaging more than an error a game, and that is something Dodger teams hardly ever do. The amazing thing is that their pitching, especially the relief pitching, has been so good this year that they've been able to overcome all their mistakes. But you've got to think that later on in the season, if they don't stop making those errors and don't start hitting, they're going to have some problems.
1 ball, 1 strike count on Chili Davis. He takes up high for a ball. Chili tonight is 0 for 3. That was the kind of a night he would rather not have anybody talk about. O-line hit into a double play, struck out and grounded out on the infield. The base hit here might score another run. Giants lead it right now 5-2, trying for their 22nd win of the year. The Dodgers have won 29 already. Royce misses low at 3 balls and a strike. Niedenfuhr's already pitched half a game out of the bullpen.
There he is right there, still working hard. He's got to be ready. Part of the just incredible, outstanding Dodger bullpen this year.
Watch this pitch, 3-1. Davis is going to be ready to hit one a long ways if he gets his pitch. Fouled it off. He almost got that ball by him. I believe he was looking for a breaking ball to swing that late on a fastball, don't you, Wes?
Could be. Also, the pitch was away from him. He might have been looking for something inside.
3-2. Can't be too selective now. Next week, we'll have the Giants again on their home grounds, Candlestick Park, against Montreal. Oh, great pitch on 3-2. Not much Davis could have done with that one. And Royce almost threw it away, too. 1 run for the Giants. They had 1 hit. There was 1 error and a man left on. In the middle of the 7th inning, the score is 5-2 Giants. Let's pause for this message from your local station.
It's like a croissant packed with macaron, Navratilova, Lendl, Everett Lloyd, and Bielanger. The French Open on the USA Network.
Ford is miles ahead.
I feel the quality that they put into the new Thunderbird is just incredible. It has a very, very smooth design, the rounding of the front, the rounding of the rear. Many people compare it really to a Mercedes. It isn't a hot rod sports car, but it is a gentleman's sports car, and I like that. That very much appeals to me.
When it comes to quality, you're miles ahead at your Northwest Ford dealers.
What kind of music I like? Dixieland.
I like semi-classical.
New wave music. They go crazy when they hear that kind of music.
Oldies but goodies.
I love the discotheque.
I even like Tony Bennett.
Religious music. Jazz.
I'm beginning to like country. I hate country and western.
Rock and roll.
It gives me a headache.
The right to have and express your own opinions. Freedom of thought. It's the American way.
Brought to you by People for the American Way, P.O. Box 37300, Washington, D.C.
There's the line score for you, the Giants and the Dodgers, and it's a good one here tonight. 5-2, San Francisco. Bottom half of the 7th inning. They just had the old 7th inning stretch here at Dodger Stadium. And leading off now, their cleanup hitter, Pedro Guerrero, Greg Brock, and Rick Monday. Some pretty good thunder here against Bill Laskew's on a roll. He's won 5 straight and leading 5-2 here. And something you have to think about if you're watching this game with much knowledge of the Giants is that if they get into very late innings, and they are right now, they have one of the finest bullpens in baseball. Guerrero kind of hit that one off the end of the bat, and LeMaster guns him out. Even though Greg Minton hasn't really had the kind of year yet that he's had in the past and is certainly capable of, he's still an established good late inning reliever.
And he's not the only one down there.
That's
How
right.
about a fellow by the name of Gary Lavelle? And there's more than him, too. Rene Martin down there. They're good. 2 excellent bullpens.
Greg Brock. 0 for 2 with a fly ball to center field and a pop foul ball that went a mile high. Big cut, and he fouls it off. Strike 1.
He's 0 for 18 coming off the road trip, so that makes him 0 for 20, Monty. And it doesn't look really like it's bothering him. He's still having his good cuts up there. He's got a very good eye. He gets a lot of walks. And that's surprising for a power hitter. Usually they're pretty free swingers.
Well, he's had a tough workout at first base tonight. There have been balls thrown around him, over him, under him. Waited on the changeup curveball and still hit it 350 feet. Boy, there's some power for you. He was way, way out front of that pitch and still hit it in the air 350 feet. And up comes Rick Monday. He has pulled a couple out of here tonight. Solo shot in the 2nd, another one in the 5th, and the one in the 5th inning really was hit hard. It went out of the park at about 395 and about 35 feet up into the center field bleachers, right center. Now, if you're Lasky, what are you thinking?
Well, in the old days, they would have thrown the next pitch right at his head. But they don't do that anymore.
Not quite that much, do they? Pitch in there for a call, strike to Monday. Giants lead the Dodgers 5-2. If they win this game, it'll be the 6th straight win for the Giants at Dodger Stadium. Monday hits the ball hard to center field. Right on a line to Chili Davis. Man, he is having some cuts up there tonight. Lasky hadn't fooled him once yet. But it's 3 up, 3 down, and we're going to go to the top of the 8th inning with the score. The Giants 5 and the Dodgers 2. Coming up is Jack Clark, Jeff Leonard, and Joel Youngblood for San Francisco.
I had a couple idols when I was young.
I always followed Paul Wenner when I was a young ball player because I lived in Pittsburgh, and I followed another hitter I liked was Mel Lodge. I liked Mel Lodge for some reason, and being a pitcher early in my days, I always liked Carl Hubble.
Baseball fever. Catch it. It lasts forever.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Summer with the Boys of Summer on the USA Network's exclusive Thursday Night Baseball.
Well, it's that time again, folks. I know you look forward to this every telecast. We just want to remind you this cablecast is presented by the authority of Major League Baseball. And any reproduction, retransmission, or any use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. So watch out for that.
As we look from high up above home plate down the left field line, here comes Jack Clark, who ripped one out of here in the 6th inning. He singled and scored a run in the 2nd, so Jack's 2 for 3 tonight. Well, when this guy gets on a hot streak, he can really do some long ball hitting, too. Royce misses high, ball 1. Might be Royce's last inning to pitch. He's scheduled to bat 3rd in the last of the 8th. Clark hits another liner, this one into center field, and it's a base hit.
You know, really right now, Jack Clark looks like he could hit any pitch you throw up there. Anything. He is really looking good.
Jeff Leonard.
Here's Jeff Leonard. He's hit about anything they've thrown up there tonight. He's driven in 3 runs. It hit a couple of homers, got on an error in the 6th, so he is 2 for 3. Week, another doubleheader right here on the USA Network. There's a hot shot to Guerrero. Turns it for 1. Sachs is almost dehorned at second base. Boy, Clark went in awfully tough. I don't know, did Guerrero's throw pull him off or what? How did Leonard, I don't
know how Clark got down there so fast.
I don't either. That ball was hit like a rocket.
Now, this throw is not real good because it pulls Sachs right into the runner, and he has trouble handling it. A little too high and a little too much to the first base side. But Guerrero made a good play. That ball was hit awfully hard.
To get to it. But once he got there, he didn't have that hard a throw. If he would have just led Sachs across the base, it's an easy double play.
Right. But those are the kind of mistakes that infield is making, Monty. They just haven't played enough together yet to really know what they're doing.
And see, that won't go as an error, but it definitely was a misplay. The Dodgers pitch out expecting that maybe Leonard's going to run. He didn't. 1-0. I tell you, Sachs had to be quite acrobatic to get out of that play without really being hurt. Boy, Clark got on him in a hurry.
Oh, I have no idea how he got down to second that fast.
There's no hit and run play on.
No. Because the ball was hit like a shot, and Guerrero didn't waste any time getting rid of it. I think I'll ask Jack that next time I see him how he got down to second so fast.
Why'd they shoot you out of it first, man? Might have been that Sachs had to go so far to get to the bag. The ball was thrown and he got there. Well, the timing wasn't perfect, that's for sure. That was easily a double play ball. Joel Youngblood tonight struck out twice, grounded out once. Royce has a good move to first base. He's holding Leonard very close. Boy, I remember the Giants came in here and swept the Dodgers 4 straight late last season. An incredible turnaround for them in that season. Maybe it was 3 straight. I forget, 3 or 4, but it was a big weekend series. Pitches foul back. What's the score of this game? Well, there's the answer. Giants 5 and the Dodgers 2. Glad you asked, because we got some guys that can show it to you. Giants have out hit the Dodgers 9-4 tonight. One ball, 2 strikes.
Boy, he's tough when he keeps that ball down.
Good looking pitch right there.
He's 6'5", and coming from that elevation and then throwing the ball down around the knees, that's something.
Joe Beckwith out in the bullpen now, so they're beyond the time when they would use Niedenfuhr, apparently.
Niedenfuhr probably won't be able to pitch tomorrow. He threw so much tonight.
That's right. If they counted the pitches on him tonight, he's wiped out. Leonard's leaning. He's going to go, I believe. He is. Up, he went back. Good thing, too. He just made it back. He was going, and it tipped it off. And I'll tell you, Yeager was ready. Look, he's gone.
You know what I love about this? Look at Lee Wire, the first base umpire. He's right on top of that play. Look at that. That is great umpiring. We got to point that out once in a while. Attaboy, Lee.
That's 5 strikeouts now for Cherry. Tom O'Malley. And there goes Leonard. He got a good jump again.
I really like O'Malley as a hitter. He has very active hands, and he reminds me a lot of an old Cincinnati ball player who's now a coach for Seattle. We saw him up there last week, I guess it was, and that's Veda Pinson. Same kind of hitter. Very, very active, quick hands. And if you really watch O'Malley, you can see the same thing with him. He swings the bat so much with his hands, very, very quickly.
May get a throw or two over there this time. The way he got a jump on Royce on that last pitch. (5-2) Giants over the Dodgers. There's a base hit to left center field. And Leonard's going to take the turn. Now they've got him caught, but throwing behind the runner. Now they got a run down between first and second. And see how they handle this one. Now they got him between third and home. And Sachs is running Leonard down. And he hasn't gotten him yet. Now they got him. Oh, what a series of plays. Leonard got caught everywhere he went.
That's got to make our highlight film. That was outstanding. What do we have? We had 1, 2, 3 different rundown plays going on here. Rick Mundy started the whole thing off by making what could have been an outstanding play, except that Leonard really deked him out. And you'll see, as Leonard rounds second, heading for third, Mundy just decides to throw in behind him. Now Leonard makes it to third easily, which is why Sachs turns, and fortunately he's got a play over here on O'Malley. So now this rundown starts. Brock gives it to the second baseman. That's right. Now Sachs sees the runner coming from third, runs right at him. This is perfect defensive baseball. He dives and misses and almost doesn't get him because of that. But Guerrero makes the tag.
You know, they got him with a second tag.
These new all-in-one money management accounts are a good idea. Now Charles Schwab & Company, America's largest discount brokerage firm, makes the good idea even better with the Charles Schwab One Account. Look, the Schwab One Account lets you start with as little as $1,000 in cash or $5,000 in securities, not $20,000 like most of the others. The Schwab One Account gives you a free Visa card with a 1% rebate on everything you buy and free check writing privileges for instant access to your money. The Schwab One Account could save you up to 75% on broker's commissions when you buy or sell securities, lets you place orders 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and pays you high money interest rates compounded daily on your uninvested funds. And no salesperson will call. The Charles Schwab One Account costs you less, gives you more.
For more information, call toll-free 800-228-6606. That's 800-228-6606. Costs you less, gives you more.
Well, that last play was my kind of play. Boy, that had everything going. Sachs was right in the middle of it, and Wes, I suppose it was Sachs who really made the play, wasn't it?
Sachs did it perfectly. Actually, the play was made perfectly right all the way around. We're just going to look at the tail end of it. Here's where Sachs is coming straight at Leonard, dives for him and misses, and now scrambles to the throw to Guerrero, who gets him, I believe, on the second tag. And again, the umpire waited to see that and made the right call.
Yeager dumps one out into left field. A diving grab. Has he got it? He has. Leonard is really making a bid for player of the game in this one, folks. His uniform definitely is going to be good for one of those before and after commercials after this one.
Monty, this is outstanding because last year the Giants led the National League in errors with 173. And this year they are making so many fewer. They only have 35 after 41 games. And this is the type of defensive play that's the reason for it. The Giant defense has never really been very good at all, but tonight and this year it looks very solid.
Leonard tired. His tongue's hanging out. He'd been running around the bases trying to dodge plays, and now the first thing out of the bat on the first pitch, he has to dive. And what was amazing about that one is that his glove hit the ground with the ball in it, and he was able to still keep it in there. Strike one on Anderson. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this game tonight. We felt it would be a good one coming in, and it has been that. Pinch hitter on deck for the Dodgers. Anderson blips one into center field. It's going to go out to the warning track. He may go for 3. He's on his way. The relay is there. Late. That'll be a 3-bagger for Dave Anderson. That was a great relay right there.
I'll tell you, there's some interesting things in this game. Over there, all the way almost in center field, was Jeff Leonard to back up that play as the Giants make some good relay throws and almost get Anderson at third.
Boy, Johnny LeMaster threw that ball from deep left center field right on the money to third base.
Now we're going to have a change of pinch hitters. The Dodgers had Rafael Landis ready to hit. Well, with the triple by Anderson, it's going to be Dusty Baker. That's a pretty good man to bring off the bench. Baker's been in a slump. He's only hitting .234 this year, and he hit over 300 each of the last 2 seasons for the Dodgers. So you can see that's not like him. Tommy Lasorda had intended to rest him tonight, but this is a perfect spot to get his bat in the lineup.
Lasky's going to work off the stretch right here. And the Giant infield is back. They'll give up a run here with a 3-run lead in order to get an out. So all Baker's got to do to pick up an RBI is hit a ground ball to short, second, or first base. He does better than that. He hits one off the glove out into left field. And the Dodgers now are down by only 2.
There's Dusty getting a base hit, and that ball was really right down the middle. It started on the outside corner and just ran right back in over the center of the plate, and LeMaster tried to knock another one down. He's made some great plays tonight. That ball just eluded him. Well, it looks like Frank Robinson's going to come out and make a change right now, and that would figure to be about right because Lasky's pitched an excellent ball game. He's given up a couple of hits in this inning, and remember, Yeager started the inning off by hitting a little looper down the line that, except for a great play by Jeff Leonard, the score would now be 5-4 instead of 5-3. So Frank Robinson out there in those new Giant uniforms, and there goes Bill Lasky, who still has a chance to win this ball game, which would be his 6th win in a row this year after losing his first 4.
I believe this will be the Moon Man, Greg Minton. Comes out of the bullpen, looks up at the scoreboard, sees what the situation is.
Well, Monty, you've already mentioned that Minton's had a rough season this year, which is unlike him, because he's a tremendous pitcher.
We may also see if we have a flip-flop in the batting order here. Frank Robinson might take advantage of that situation also. Yeah, I kind of doubt that. Nah, they're not. He's got a left-hander going out of the bullpen, too.
Well, let me give you the vital stats on Minton. He's 1-2 this year, but listen to this ERA. It's just under 6, 5.91. Now, that is really unusual for Greg Minton. Last year, you could have made a very strong case for him being perhaps the best reliever in the National League, although you'd also have to make a tremendous case for Bruce Sutter. But he is outstanding. Off to a slow start this year. He's been in 17 games, and he's got 5 saves. but he's just pitched 21 innings in 17 games, so he's just pitching a little bit over an inning every time he gets in. So Dusty Baker is now 5 for 10 versus the Giants this season. We understand. They haven't played the Giants yet this season.
22nd base now, number 18, Wayne Kuiper.
Steve Howe is out in the Dodger bullpen.
Batting in the 6th spot.
There you see him. I don't believe he's been scored on this year. Howe just having a tremendous season. Let's check that out. His ERA is 0. He's 2-1. Pitched in 22 innings. What a year that man's having. And he complains that he feels weak. Well, we might see him.
Wes, we do have that flip-flop situation. Wayne Kuiper's gone into the Giant lineup now, and he's going to be batting in the number 6 spot in the batting order. In the number 9 spot in the batting order. And the pitcher, Minton, will go into the 6th spot in the order. See a lot of this in the National League. You don't see any in the American League because of the designated hitter. But they can jockey around and play manager with this pitcher spot in the National League. Greg Minton will face Steve Sachs. Dwayne Kuiper at second base. Sachs after the first pitch thrown by the Moon Man, and it's strike one. Boy, Minton had a long stretch, a few seasons without throwing a home run ball. Breaking ball that time missed. "30 saves and 10 wins in 1 year. One ball, 2 strikes. Minton basically a sinker ball pitcher, and when those sinker ball pitchers don't have the sinker ball thinking, it's a long, tough season for them. Most of them don't throw all that hard to throw the ball by people.
He's the guy that was in there the last game of the season when the Giants beat the Dodgers and knocked them out of it.
They got the man at second. Kuiper has to get out of the way of an oncoming Baker. There was no chance to play at first base. So O'Malley to Kuiper for 1 out.
I like O'Malley. Coming in on a ball here would have been a lot easier just to go to first. And he has to plant himself and then make that play to second base and gets the lead runner to keep the man out of scoring position.
Ron Renicky, 2 down, and Steve Sachs on at first with the Dodgers trailing by 2. Sachs is not quite the threat to run as he might be, but he still may go. Ball 1. Boy, there's one guy in this ball game that's been all over the park. He's done everything. Jeff Leonard. He's hit 2 home runs. He's driven in 3 runs. He's made a sparkling catch. He got caught in a circus rundown. He got thrown out diving head first, hit third trying to steal. He has been all over the place tonight. There's a strike to Renicky. It's 1-1. There's a base hit center field. Sachs turns second. He's going to hold on. Yeah, here's Ken Landreau.
Funny, as Landreau steps up to the plate, Frank Robinson looks on. I just want to correct one thing. The Dodgers and Giants have already played 3 games this year up in San Francisco, and I think I implied that they hadn't, but they have. So this is the 4th game of the 18 that they'll play against each other.
And here's the spot where the short inning relief specialists, the men who have the reputation of Greg Minton, have to earn their money. To win games in the big leagues, you've got to have that good short inning reliever. And Minton's on a spot right now. Strike call. The tying runs are on base.
Boy, that is just a perfect pitch, and Landreau really has a case to argue right there because that ball might have been outside. But the umpire, sometimes knowing that a pitcher relies on his sinker ball, will give it to him. That pitch was just outstanding. Nobody could have hit it.
His record of going innings without allowing a home run was 269 1/3 innings. Without having to jerk your head back over your shoulder and see where that one went. It's incredible. All-time Major League record, by the way. Pickoff play at second. LeMaster started sneaking back in behind Sachs. Sachs is not going to be picked off here. That's a tough play for a pitcher to throw off against your body like that. Just reverse pivot and throw.
That's the old Mike Marshall pickoff. He's the first one I ever saw do it.
Landreau's had 7 game-winning RBIs, and he's got a shot at another one right here. If the tying runs on, if he hits one out, it could be a game winner. Misses with it. 2-1.
Well, the guy that led the National League in game-winning hits last year, or tied with Keith Hernandez, is out in right field. Jack Clark for the Giants. But day in and day out, you talk to any of the Dodger ball players and ask them who's the best clutch hitter on their ball club, and they'll tell you Billy Russell.
Who's not in the lineup tonight. That's going to be a tough play right there. LeMaster made it. Oh, what a play by Johnny Lee. Did he come a long ways and get that one or not?
After throwing the ball, he did a swan dive right out there on the grass past second base. Almost an impossible play. It's got to be perfectly made, which he did.
Boy, what a play. And that ends the 8th inning, and it's still 5-3 Giants over the Dodgers.
Fish Popper, the amazing rod holder with hook setting action. Fish Popper, you'll never miss a strike again. Uh-oh, that one got away. Bet this looks familiar. Fish Popper, available through this special TV offer. Fish Popper, a must for every fisherman. Watch how it works. Stake Fish Popper in the ground till firm. Or if you prefer, clamp it to the pier. It's simple. You can clamp it easily to your boat. Cast your line and then insert your rod. You can set Fish Popper for a light to heavy strike or in between. Then place your line over the release. When a fish strikes, you got him. Makes fishing easier for beginners and a lot more relaxing and enjoyable for you pros. A fabulous gift idea for the fisherman in your life. A must for every fisherman. Order now.
Don't miss another fish. Call toll-free now, 1-800-USA-1000. Save COD charge, use your credit card, or send $19.95 plus $2 postage and handling to Fish Popper, Box 49648, Atlanta, Georgia, 30359. Call now.
Pitching change for the Dodgers. It's not Steve Howe who came in, and that's because the Dodgers did not score enough runs to make it close enough to bring in Howe. He's just saved for the really tight games, so in comes the man who was warming up before Howe, and that's Tom Niedenfuer. His record this year, 2-0, ERA of 2.08, and he's really turned it around. His job was actually in jeopardy when he went to spring training this year. He pitched very well down there and has pitched very well so far this season. He's just got 1 save. Steve Howe has 7 saves, so you see the difference right there. The bullpen hasn't got a whole bunch of saves, but that's because the season is so young. He's pitched in 11 ball games so far, 17 innings. So again, you see he's a very short relief man, usually just working about an inning or an inning and a third when he gets in there.
For the Giants, catcher Bob Brunley.
11-2 record this year out of the Dodger bullpen. We can talk about it and tell you how good they are, but those are stats which show you right there. 11-2 out of the bullpen. Incidentally, you may not have heard tonight the 76ers knocked off the Lakers again, so the 76ers won their 2 games at home. Now they'll come out here in Los Angeles for some. Here's Bob Brindley, the catcher for the Giants. He's had 1 hit tonight. He's hit the ball hard 3 times. Niedenfuer got the first one past him. Oh, I sat home a lot this year and watched the USA coverage of the NBA doubleheaders on Thursday night. They did a tremendous job again this year. Al Albert, Eddie, Doucette and all the people with him. Really enjoyed the NBA on the USA Network this year again. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Brinley Kuiper, no, they put Minton in that number 9 spot of the batting order. Thought they said they flip-flopped him, but they didn't. Strike call. Top of the 9th inning. Giants lead the Dodgers 5-3. Breaking ball outside. You're looking ahead to who will be batting for the Dodgers in the 9th. Well, it's the big guys, Guerrero, Brock, and Monday, so don't go away. Good pitch. Good by Bob Brennan. Niedenfuhr gets him looking. And here comes Greg Minton.
Been a good ball game, hasn't it, Monty?
I have really enjoyed it.
A lot of
Came
excitement.
down here looking for a good one, and I have seen a good one.
And we've really seen both teams perform just about the way we expected. Giants have been a hot club, and Jack Clark's been a hot hitter. He's got 3 hits tonight. The Dodger defense has not been too good this year. We've seen that. Jerry Royce has had his problems. We've seen that. And now we're looking at a very, very good Dodger bullpen.
Men fouls it off into the upper deck. Funny guy right there. We got Greg to introduce all the Giant people in our golf tournament banquet last year, and he had them rolling. It's a rocket shot at Anderson, and he's got it just below the knees.
Boy, did that fool him. He didn't think a pitcher could hit the ball that hard. He was ready to field it on a hop and wound up catching a line shot right at the thigh. That ball is hit very, very hard. How about ankle high?
And up comes Johnny Lee Master. He's 1 for 4 tonight, but what a show he's put on in the field. "17 base hits tonight. A lot of great defensive plays, or there would have been more. They should. Ball 1. French Open tennis coming up on the USA Network. Right out behind third base. Anderson makes the play, and we go to the last of the 9th. It's do or die for the Dodgers. And they got the guys who could maybe do it. Pedro Guerrero, Greg Brock, Rick Mundy are coming up to see what they can do about that score. The Giants are leading the Dodgers 5-3.
Hey, what's a nice family like the Vengroves doing in a place like this?
We're going on vacation.
The 4-wheel drive Toyota Tercel wagon is on the move again. Destination, fun. Because this Tercel switches from front wheel to 4-wheel drive on command.
There it is!
Wow. And gives the best gas mileage of any 4-wheel drive car. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's also spacious, smooth, tough.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
This is clear, solid lucite. Tough, durable, made by DuPont to last. Wouldn't it be great if a paint gave you this? Lucite house paint does. The same basic ingredient in solid lucite is a key ingredient in liquid lucite. So it's tough, durable, made to resist peeling and cracking, made to last. Lucite, a long-lasting paint based on a solid idea from DuPont. Now,
and our USA computer picture shows that for the game. Giants led it 2-0. Dodgers got 1, 2-1. Giants scored again, 3-1. Then the Dodgers scored 3-2. Giants scored 4-2, and then another 5-2, and the Dodgers came back with a run in the 8th. And that's our score right now, 5-3, going to the last half of the 9th inning. And Greg Minton will face that man, Pedro Guerrero, who opened our telecast tonight on film. A big highlight home run swing type of a thing. And he's ended a few of our USA telecasts also.
Well, he's hit with tonight, but he's really been the only consistent hitter from the start of the season that the Dodgers have had. Everybody else has been through their ups and downs, and most of them are in slumps right now.
Tell you, some of the fans here are in slumps too. The tail lights of thousands going away from this ballpark, and it's still a close game here in Los Angeles.
With Rick Mundy coming up, who's hit 2 home runs.
They've seen enough, I guess.
They don't want to see any more home runs.
This ballpark is only about half filled. Guerrero 0 for 3. Curve from Minton is low for ball 1. I guess you can look at that another way, that maybe Vince Scully and Jerry Doggett and Ross Porter are so good on radio, the fans want to get out of here and listen to the radio at the end of it.
Well, there's proof, folks. We're not just saying it.
There they go.
Right there on your TV screen, you see proof that the fans here have left early.
We can show you yellow seats and orange seats and blue seats where they've been.
About half of them are gone, really. It's amazing.
One ball and no strikes.
We are still here.
2 balls and no strikes to count. Boy, Minton doesn't want to walk anybody in this part of the lineup. Greg seems to be pitching a little higher right now than we recall him doing last year. And I'm sure not by choice.
Worst thing he could do is walk somebody. Worst thing he could do with a 2-run lead, because then you bring the tying run to the plate. Even if he has to groove a pitch and have a guy line it someplace, that's better than walking him, because a line drive might be caught.
And any of these next 4 guys could hit one out of here. There's his sinker hit on the ground to Johnny LeMaster. He throws high to first base. And there's the catcher to save a base. LeMaster has been playing great all night long. Kind of, well, he short-armed that one.
Look at the pain on Robinson's face. Look at that look on Frank Robinson's face. LeMaster slams his fist into his glove. You know, it was such an easy play. He just tried to lob it over to first and wound up throwing it away.
The only one tonight he hasn't gunned over there.
Watch this. Now, he stays down on the ball very well and just kind of flips it over there high over Evans' head.
And remember this play right here, which we don't end, but the catcher, Bob Brindley, was there to back up first base, or they've got a runner at second with nobody down. Now here's Greg Brock, and Minton's got some work to do. 5-3, Giants over the Dodgers, last of the 9th. Outside ball 1, and the Giants are saying to Guerrero, you take off if you want. We're not going to hold you at first base. With Brock up there, Evans is playing well behind Guerrero at first.
Look at the room down the left field line, too, Monty. If he just dumps one down the left field line, it's a sure double.
Strike just popped right out of the mid of Brindley.
Well, here's another amazing thing. The third baseman O'Malley is not playing on the line to guard against the extra base hit. They're just going to try and defense Brock in that hole between short and third.
And what's amazing to me is if he's not going to play on the line, why is he playing shallow?
Don't know.
This guy.
I do not know.
Hit up into the air to left center field. Not very deep. 2 men are closing on it. Center fielder Davis takes over and got it. There is a Giant out, let me tell you. Not just a San Francisco Giant out. They got the big guy, Brock, who could tie the ball game with one swing of the bat. And here's Rick Mundy, who has hit 2 out of here tonight. Mundy homered in the 2nd. He homered in the 5th. He lined out to center field in the 7th. All those were off Lasky, who pitched 7 1/3 innings tonight, allowing 6 hits. Somewhere back in the catacombs of Dodger Stadium in the dressing room, he's sweating this one out. It could be his 6th win of the year. That's outside for a ball. Well, the Dodgers can come back, as they've done 10 times this year. Tom Lasorda is looking at the lineup card right behind him. These guys think 2 or 3 hitters ahead. Minton shakes off Brindley. Got a strike over. It's 1-1.
If Minton makes the right pitches, Mundy won't have a chance. If he keeps that sinker down and away, it's impossible to get that ball airborne.
Another thing about Guerrero is that the Giants had played him perfectly. LeMaster was way over in the hole and was playing him right there, didn't have to move, just bend over and catch it. And Johnny just made a kind of a haphazard lob throw over there, and it took away. Now, Robinson is moving his left fielder. You couldn't see on your screen the left fielder. When he raised up his hand to move somebody, I looked to see who moved, and it was Leonard. They moved him closer to the line, which might indicate they really want to pitch Mundy outside. It's too low.
Another thing they're concerned about is keeping Mundy off second base. They don't mind if Guerrero scores, but they want to keep Mundy out of scoring position.
That's something a lot of the infielders, second baseman and third baseman in particular, will do in this situation right here, is that they will turn around and yell to the outfielders and point to second base, and that means throw the ball here and forget the other guy. Keep the tying run out of scoring position. That ball got away from Brinley. That took the double play out of order.
Money, when we have a second, we just want to mention to our East Coast viewers that Sports Probe will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game right here. It was scheduled for 1 o'clock Eastern time, but just stay tuned and we'll have it.
That's a pass ball. It hit Brinley right in the mitt. He's having trouble handling Minton's pitches here in this inning. Another one popped out, if you'll recall. It's a 3-ball, 1-strike count. First base open, Steve Yeager on deck. Dodgers down by 2, last of the 9th inning.
This is a tough pitch. He doesn't really want to walk Rick Mundy. That puts the potential, well, the tying run in on the bases. On the other hand, he can't make too good a pitch because Mundy could hit it out.
Perfect pitch. Up and away to Rick Mundy. Now he's got another tough one to make. Rick very rarely pulls a home run down the line in right field. He'll hit everything right center field, left center field.
Boy, he wanted a pitch to pull right there. He even tried to hook that outside pitch, but I just don't think he's going to get one. Minton will almost undoubtedly work that outside corner.
And his pitch naturally runs down and away from a left-handed batter. Couple of giant mistakes here in the 9th inning. We'll see if Minton can overcome them. One let a man get on base, another one let him move up to take the double play away. Here's a big pitch, 3-2. They're going to get one. LeMaster throws this guy out for sure. Guerrero goes to third, and it's up to Steve Yeager, the Dodger catcher, and he's having a good year. Tonight he's lined to right, struck out, and flied to left. Well, that ground out knocked out about another 2,000 out of the seats.
Well, that Minton sinker is just devastating because Rick Mundy is a low ball hitter. We've seen him hit a low pitch out of here already, and that time he just couldn't get it up in the air.
Yeah, giant catchers tell me it's not only a sinker, it's a heavy sinker. That ball really goes in there heavy. Came up on Yeager for ball one. And I'm sure not because he wanted to.
Well, he's suddenly got to work that other corner. He was working the third base side corner to the left-hand hitter, and now he's trying to get to the outside corner and stayed on the third base side.
Boy, are the giant outfielders playing Yeager to pull. He pulls it in the hole to LeMaster. Long throw on the way. It's there, and the Giants have beaten the Dodgers. No runs or hits. One error, one left on, and the final score. The San Francisco Giants beat the Los Angeles Dodgers by a score of 5-3 with Greg Minton hanging on long enough to pick up a save and Lasky to get the victory. We'll be back to wrap this one up for you very shortly. Have the player of the game to announce for you and things like that. It was a good one. We'll be right back.
All right, we're up 15. We got this game won.
Yeah, you guys are buying a light beer from Miller. Yeah, slice Philly.
One out to go.
Yeah, what can he do to us now? Hey, I'll keep the change. Here's Rodney! Any pinch hitters left? Here I am. Come on, Lee!
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hey, wait a minute. This game isn't over yet. I caught that ball.
Well, the line score, the Giants 5 runs on 10 hits, and the Dodgers 3 runs on 7. 5 homers hit here tonight. Jeff Leonard had a couple for the Giants, and Jack Clark had 1. And Rick Mundy had 2 for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And Wes Parker, I'd say this was a rather interesting, entertaining baseball game tonight.
I still think it's very interesting, Monty, that the Giants played better defense tonight than the Dodgers did, and I think that's one of the big shifts in the way these two teams are playing and have played in the past. Johnny LeMaster, even though he made the error in the 9th inning, played a beautiful game at shortstop, and I thought the Giant defense was outstanding. You remember the fine catch that Jeff Leonard made in left field. But it was an excellent ball game. It was just about what we expected, what we had heard, the way the two teams were playing, and they sure lived up to their advanced billing.
Well, the thing that we can say is the streaks go on. The Giants have now beaten the Dodgers 6 straight here in Dodger Stadium, and that's something very unusual, to say the least. And Bill Lasky continues with his streak. He has now won 6 games in a row after losing the first 4 to start the season. So it's a good ball game. A lot of good things happen. You fans who like to see good defensive plays got to see those too.
I think a lot of people thought the Dodgers, especially after this great start, were just going to run away with things. I don't think they are. And I'm going to make a prediction right now.
Parker predicts.
Yes, that the Giants will be a contender for the National League flag in the Western Division. I really think they have an excellent ball club, and they've got a shot at it.
And their manager is a good manager, and it does appear that they've got some awfully good looking ball players out there right now. Pretty good spirit on the ball club, Wes.
I think so, and I think Frank Robinson's the type of manager that can lead a club to a pennant. And you've got to remember, last year they came within 1 game, so they have kind of a taste for what they can do. And they may be a stronger ball club this year, as Frank Robinson said, even though Morgan and Smith are gone.
All right, now let's take a look at the man that we have chosen as the Toyota Player of the Game, and he did a lot tonight.
He was outstanding. 2 for 4, as you saw, a couple of home runs. He drove in the first 3 runs that the Giants scored. He made a diving catch on Yeager in left field, which wound up saving a run. He backed up a play in center field beautifully, and he was also caught in that very exciting rundown. So he was all over the place and did a tremendous hitting job. And he was an ex-Dodger, as we told you before, so he came back to haunt his former organization and played a very fine game.
Greg Menton came out of what had been somewhat the doldrums for him this year and picked up a big save here tonight. And, Wes, you can tell the veteran relievers, they don't seem to get too excited when an error is made behind them, even in a critical situation. As a matter of fact,
Moses Malone and the Philadelphia 76ers are on the outskirts of the promised land. One more victory and all that frustration is over.